All right, everyone. Welcome to the Hunt360 podcast. I'm your host, E3 King. I'm here with Jeff Johnson, and we're happy to have on Dustin Diefenderfer here from MTNTOUGH Fitness Lab. Dustin, how you doing today?
Doing good. First day at Sheep Show, so everything's just starting right now and getting ready.
Yeah, it's the calm before the storm, I guess.
It is, yeah. It gets incredibly busy in here. It's not bad right now, but it gets busy.
It's a nice environment. I went by y'all's booth. Y'all got a heck of a setup. You got the bike challenge going on.
Yeah.
What's that about?
So we're going to do an assault bike challenge this year, and it's an all-out sprint for 1 minute, and whoever gets the most cals is going to win that new Stone Glacier gear, their 2020 line. So that should be pretty interesting.
What do you think what kind of numbers do you think you'll be looking at with the people that are here? I'm seeing a lot of people that aren't in shape.
Yeah, it's going to be funny because the one thing about the assault bike that I've seen is, because really to win something like that, you have to go max effort. So like 110% effort. And most people don't think a minute sounds very bad, but a minute all out on that thing will kind of ruin the rest of your day if you do truly go all out. So I think what we'll see is some guys that haven't been on one before that'll go pretty big on it, but I bet we'll see 60, 65 cals will be the winner.
That'd be good.
So what all do you guys do? I know you offer a lot of different programs. What can you tell us a little bit about who you guys are and
Sure.
what you have to offer?
Yeah. So MTNTOUGH, about 2 years ago, we took all of our training online, and so we call ourselves a lab because we have basically a research and development facility in Bozeman. So in that research and development facility, we test workouts and physical training and mental toughness on dedicated mountain athletes. And so we have a ton of mountain hunters, but we also have a lot of active duty military, a lot of LEOs, a lot of first responders, a lot of wildland firefighters and structural firefighters. So that Bozeman facility is a lab basically where we're studying the impacts of our workouts and the effects, then having the guys go out on the mountain, give us feedback. So it's a process of constant evolution. So we think I think like humans as a whole haven't really scratched the surface of human potential, and that's kind of our philosophy. Like anything we do can always get better. So we use the Bozeman lab as our kind of test environment, and then everything that we're happy with, we kick out online. So now we have thousands of hunters training with us via their phone. So they can train with us Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. They just walk into the gym, pull up their phone, and it'll walk them through 4 seasonal programs. So for a mountain hunter specifically, it'll train them through a strength phase in the winter, and then endurance phase in the spring and summer. And then a lot of guys are on an in-season program because they might only hunt 7 days, so they need something to do for the rest of the season. And then they go right back into postseason strength after hunting season's over.
Now I saw you you have a 30 and 30 program. It's 30 minutes worth of body weight, all body weight workouts. What was the idea behind that?
That was really the demand from the marketplace. There was so many folks asking for a program that required no gym access. And I think especially with hunters, if you think about hunters, guides, and outfitters, especially in the western states, a lot of guys don't like going to the gym or they don't have access to the gym, as well as just the trend of way more individuals being busy professionals with kids that are working from home. So we got request after request for something they could do at home. So we released the 30-30 last year. So you're exactly right. It's 30 workouts, 30 minutes or less that they can do with no equipment at all. And that's been a huge success for us. There's lots of guys doing that, and they'll do it over and over again. Or a lot of our mountain toughers that are doing our other programs, they'll do that when they're on the road, like, weeks like this at shows. They'll just grab the 30-30 and hit the hotel gym.
That's what I need right now.
Yeah. It's great for show season.
So what would you say to somebody that's like, over 50 and not really out of shape terribly, but just it's hard to get motivated for some people.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people know, like, once you get into it, it's kind of addicting, and you can kind of get results pretty quick and feeling good. I mean, what would you say to people that just aren't really into it yet?
I think for the thing that we've seen the work the best is the power of the community, and you can really see it in the Bozeman lab, like, because we'll test workouts every day, 3 different time slots a day on everyone locally, and that community factor, the camaraderie and like the teamwork is what keeps people around for a long time with physical fitness. And so we tried to do as much as we could with that in our online program. So our online program has all the social features you'd see in any other major like social app like Instagram or Facebook. So everyone that's in there is communicating all day, every day. And just that little bit of accountability and support, it really kicks people in gear because they can see other people's times, they can see other people's results. You'll see guys giving crap to each other inside of that app, like, hey, I saw you missed yesterday's workout, where are you at? So that's pretty powerful. That community is super, super powerful. And we have a lot of athletes using the app that are like 50 to 70 years old. And the one thing that helps is everything that we design. So every time you see a daily workout, it'll be released to you in 3 different levels. So there's a level for a beginner, there's a level for intermediate and elite. And so folks are able to modify depending on their age.
And I think most people, when you think about it, you're either going to be paying for it now or you're going to be paying for it later in the hospital, or, paying for it now in just hurting or, like just the workout and maybe watching your diet. But if you don't do it now, you're going to be paying for it later.
Exactly.
For sure. You're going to go to the hospital, you're going to have high blood pressure, you're going to, who knows what. I was wondering, what do you, does the app focuses on fitness, but do you also talk to people about their diet or anything like that, or just the community?
No, we have a full nutrition program inside of the app.
Okay.
So the nutrition program that's inside of the app is designed and tested for a mountain athlete. And so basically the nutrition program inside of the Mountain Tough app will walk you through everything that we believe in on how to change your lifestyle. And then it walks you through the process of creating your own plan. So that's been super powerful.
And is that's all tailored specifically to somebody's body type and their goals, or what?
It is, yeah. Yeah, so the first few courses in that program will help you determine your body type. And then right after that, it helps you determine your goals, because some guys want to get leaner, some guys want to get bigger. But it kind of walks you through that whole process.
Is it something that you can like if you look at E3 here, can you sort of give an example of what he might expect if he was on the nutritional program? I mean, is there any kind of hypothetical examples of?
Yeah. So a lot of guys that we see, they're, like I'd say 90% of the guys in the Mountain Tough app are training specifically for like extreme mountain hunts. And so like someone like E3, we would want to keep them about that ideal body weight, but we'd want to like pack on a little bit more muscle and a little bit more endurance. So we're big believers in finding individuals' optimal body weight. So everyone has one, and if you get too worried about the scale, you'll usually miss it. So we try to get people to switch their mindset and get focused on worrying about performance, and then just letting that number on the scale settle in right where it's supposed to be. And so it kind of walks you through that whole process, and it's all focused on eating clean. So yeah, we're big believers in eating clean. Like you'll see in our program, it's very similar to, it's not a paleo program, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
What do you think about like the keto stuff and the fasting and all that? I mean, is that sort of encouraged too, or is that?
No, we're not really believers in the keto, and then the fasting has some interesting research around it. The intermittent fasting, a lot of guys will lose weight because they're eating a lot fewer calories per day. And then on keto, people will lose a tremendous amount of weight because they're eating way less calories than they used to. But the issue we have with a lot of those diet trends are what they do to someone's performance. Because on Mountain Tough, a lot of individuals are going to be working harder than they ever have before, just because our program is difficult, that we're more worried about their nutrition from a performance perspective than any sort of weight loss perspective.
Now, to be a mountain hunter, you do have to be tough, and hence the name. And you have to pick the weights up. You have to eat right. But how important is that mentality for what you guys are about?
The mentality is huge. So everything that we do is built around mental toughness, and a lot of that comes from Mountain Tough's DNA. So our DNA is, Ara, who's the COO, he was a airborne ranger, and then he went on to train rangers for another 20 years, retired as a lieutenant colonel, and then he went to teach at West Point. And then our kind of head of training science is Alex Fickler, and Alex was 9 years as a U.S. Navy SEAL. So when Mountain Tough originated, our idea was if we can make someone more mentally tough, they can accomplish any goal that they want. And so everything we do, whether it's a daily workout or anything that we're putting in the app, we run it through that filter first. Is this going to help someone become more mentally tough? Everything we're doing in the Bozeman lab is around mental toughness. Because for us, we're just huge believers that that's going to be the difference maker on the mountain. Because usually on a mountain hunt, what you'll see is this quit moment where someone is on day 7, it's been snowing for 7 days, and they'll quit and go home. But the guys that are really successful are those guys that can keep their head right and stay an extra day or 2 extra days till the weather clears and they're presented with that opportunity. So mental toughness is like the foundation of everything we're trying to do.
Do you have a success story, like one of your people that's going through your program that you don't have to give out name, but can you give an example of just somebody that you might mention from time to time, this person did really well or something?
Yeah, we have hundreds of them. We get them emailed in every day, which is pretty cool. Barrett Sims, who's here, is a pretty amazing story. So Barrett did all the Mountain Tough programs. So he did nutrition, preseason and postseason strength last year, and then he went on a Dall sheep hunt in the Northwest Territories. And it was cool because he wrote us a 2-page long story about how there was 9 other hunters in different camps scattered around with that outfitter. But most of those guys were ended up, by day 5, they just wanted to stay in camp. They had outfitters carrying their gear instead of carrying their own gear. Several guys quit, but he was able to keep up with his guide for 11 days and killed just an awesome ram. But the thing that he jokes around about us all the time, and you might see it on some of our social, is he's 44, but he feels like he's 14. So he's a pretty cool success story for us, for sure.
And I would also guess that the people around you, your family and friends, they're probably all pretty encouraging and glad, like your wife. It's not like your wife would be saying, oh, you're doing that exercise program again,
Yeah.
It's I would think that anybody around you would be thinking, that's just really awesome that you're doing that. And so somebody that would start doing your programs, they would surely experience the same thing. Their friends, their spouse, they'd be like, we're really glad, just want to encourage you because we can see the difference, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. I think one thing that we talk about a lot is fitness can be sort of a trick for someone to change their entire life, complete life transformation. And you see people become, better fathers, better husbands, better mothers, better friends, just because of that discipline and mindset shift. And a lot of people write in stories about work, like, man, I can just focus all day at work now. I'm getting way more done. So there's so many side benefits that we love seeing.
And you can also you have a lot of small victories, like if you just move to a certain weight, either your body weight or just weights that you're lifting, you're able to just almost on a daily basis see some improvement, and it's kind of neat. It's encouraging. I would think after a couple weeks you'd probably be amazed. It was like, I can't imagine this, like where I've come just in a couple weeks. It's just neat. I mean, the human body is just an amazing thing.
Yeah, one of our favorite, there's a workout on our website you can grab for free. It's a free download called the 22s. And one of our favorite things to do is have someone do the 22s, and we'll talk about it being like, from what your time is when you complete, we can kind of tell you how mountain ready you are. So based on your time, like I can look at your numbers and be like, we have some stuff to work on, or your strength is really good, but we need to work on some endurance. But one of our favorite things to do is have someone do that workout after they've been doing the program like 6 weeks later, and they're able to, like cut that time in half. Where the first time they did it, it was the hardest thing they've ever done, but the second time's no big deal. And that stuff's really awesome to watch.
Yeah. Now this might be going away from the app, but like, do you have any advice or suggestions on like, just like if somebody's going on a vacation, maybe they're going to Disney World or they're going someplace where they're just going to be away from like a real gym, you know? And obviously there's some workouts that you could do, just, push-ups or squats or whatever, just air squats, whatever. Do you have like just like a typical routine that you might say, like, if you're away from the gym, you could still do this just to kind of get a daily workout in or something? Yeah,
absolutely. I think the 22s that is on the website is an excellent option for that, because you can do it all without any equipment. Okay. And then we did build that 30-30 program that guys can buy online, was basically designed for that purpose, because people wanted something with no workout. But I would just encourage listeners to always do something. Like Ara's a really good example, and so is Alex. I mean, they would never go somewhere traveling and not work out. And so, like Ara, because of his Ranger background, has had, I think, a dozen different surgeries. So all that impact from jumping, I think he has over 700 jumps, so he's pretty banged up. But like, you'll still see him like at a show like this. There's those couple hours before dinner, after the show, he's going to go to the gym. He's not going to miss it. And I think just making sure you get in there and do something is better than not doing anything at all. And most of us are all the same way. Like, hotel gyms usually aren't very good, but we're still going to get in there and get creative and figure something out.
And that's kind of that mountain tough mentality you talk about.
Yeah, and you can always figure something out, Now,
do your programs kind of help people from like overdoing a certain, like, you could sort of like do one thing so much and then you're not doing something else, and you probably need to be more balanced. And like, for example, I hate doing squats.
Yeah.
And I don't really want big legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, I have to really force myself to do squats.
Yeah.
And probably most people are like that, or like, I don't like doing deadlifts. I don't want to hurt my back.
Yeah.
But I see some guys lifting a lot of weight doing deadlifts, and I mean, do the programs kind of like keep you from sort of overdoing one thing? Or
definitely will keep you from overdoing one thing or the other. It's very balanced, and like, our strength training is very focused on not allowing you to become bored, because boredom is definitely a problem with working out and a lot of like fitness routines. And so we're really focused on not allowing you to become bored, as well as like shocking the body and showing the body different movements is really good, because that's what you're going to experience in the real world as like a functional athlete. So we've handled a lot of that stuff in the program.
So what are some victories and successes that you've had? Like, I mean, do you have something that you'd be willing to say, like, I was really glad when I passed this mark or whatever?
Yeah, I think for me, one thing that I think about is, like, I want to make sure that I'm in the best shape I possibly can be as long as I can be. And so one thing that I personally am just really happy with now is not getting injured. And so a lot of my friends and colleagues working out and sports, or guys that haven't worked out and have hunted really hard, they acquire a lot of injuries, and those injuries can really wipe someone out for multiple years and kind of lead into a negative cycle. So one victory I'm definitely super happy about is, because I do all the Mountain Tough training that everyone's doing in the app, is how little I haven't been injured at all, but how little injuries we've seen, not only in the Bozeman lab, but online. And just keeping someone going for the long term, like fit for life, that's been really, really cool.
Yeah. Now, I would assume that I kind of think I know what your answer is going to be on this, but I had a guy tell me, like, look, if you're trying to build muscle mass, you just eat everything you want to, you know, you just, because you just want to lay it on. And I think some people have this idea that, like, you're going to look like, if you're trying to go for just the looks, you know, having some fat around your muscles is not bad, you know. I personally didn't like that idea. I mean, to me, I don't, it doesn't sound healthy. And it just doesn't sound smart. You know? So I guess I already know what your answer would be, but I mean, you've probably heard people talk like that before, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a terrible idea. Usually, like, to gain muscle, you just have to make sure that you're not in a negative calorie deficit. So as long as you're managing that deficit well, you certainly don't need to overeat. And overeating is just going to lead to a lot of negative consequences.
You know, one thing I expected when I kind of got back into things, I thought I could just go do a bunch of sit-ups and I'd lose belly fat. And that didn't really work like that, you know. And then I finally figured out it had mostly to do with what I was eating.
Exactly.
You know? And I'll still do sit-ups and the GHD stuff, but and I feel like I can tell my abdomen muscles are getting stronger and stuff, but I think it's kind of a misconception. A lot of people sort of think, hey, if you do sit-ups, you're going to burn that belly fat, but it doesn't really work that way, I don't think. It
doesn't, no. It's definitely like a three-legged stool. So like optimal performance and body type, if you think about like a stool with three legs, you know, one leg is going to be the physical program you're on, and then one is definitely nutrition, and then the third's definitely going to be your mindset and mental toughness. And, you know, if you knock one of those legs out, it's not going to work. And so, like, if you do sit-ups and aren't handling your nutrition right, it's definitely not going to work.
Yeah. Now, do you do some competitions or anything like that? Like, are you into doing a competition here and there, like running a marathon or doing some kind of weight?
Yeah, we definitely, you know, I personally like doing that stuff. The kind of what led me to starting Mountain Tough was I got really into ultra running. So I'm a Montana kid, grew up bow hunting elk with my dad in the mountains ever since I was young. And then I got into ultra running. So we were doing a lot of 50Ks through the mountains around Bozeman and kind of all over the West. And what led me to Mountain Tough was, after I did too much running, there was an obvious point where I had lost enough strength that it would impact me in a mountain hunt, because like endurance running through the mountains is phenomenal. But there was a point where, like when you had to carry out a bull that you killed with your bow and you got 100-pound packs, there was this obvious point where I could have used a lot more strength, and too much running had actually negatively impacted my mountain hunting fitness. So that's really what led to the creation of Mountain Tough. But I still enjoy those. We still do a couple a year, me and my wife, and last year we did the Grand Canyon. So we're trying to switch it up and do some different things, and it's been awesome.
So on the ultra running, what I mean, I've just kind of started learning about that stuff and learning that it's a thing and hearing of people doing it, and it sounds almost impossible to me.
Yeah.
But as far as just, I know you want to keep the carbs up while you're doing it. What are you doing while you're in the middle of doing an ultra race? I'm assuming like 24 hours worth of just straight going. What do you do to replenish?
It's different for everyone, so there's guys that are doing ultra runs now on like a keto type diet. And so that's really going to come down to like personal diet preferences for you. But generally speaking, you'll see guys in the ultras hammering those gel packets. So you'll do like a goo packet every 45 minutes or honey stingers, like the chewy ones. Yeah. So guys are usually looking for glucose if they're not in a high fat type diet situation. But usually guys are out there looking for glucose the whole time. So there's all sorts of ultra running snacks now that are built specifically for ultra runs. There's stuff you can put in your water that has calories and a lot of stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
How is physical versus mental on an ultra race? How much, what weighs more?
That's what I got hooked on it from, because my wife she's the type that's just loves to run. Like that's her passion. And I was always the type where I didn't enjoy it that much. I got pretty bored. And then when we started doing ultras, I got completely addicted to the mental side, because there's a point where it becomes all mental, where everything in your body is telling you to stop, and then it's all mental that's going to get you to the finish line. And that's the point I got really hooked on. It's a really interesting component to ultra running.
You mentioned your wife a couple times now, so like I would assume that you've got programs for women just as well. I mean, like
we do not. That's a good question.
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, good.
So with Mountain Tough, we just have the one program in the app. It's not just for guys. There's a lot of females using the program, but we don't separate it out. So,
it's just one program.
Yep.
Men and women both could do it.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So, okay. Yeah, I was thinking you're kind of stepping on some toes there.
Yeah, there's a lot of females using it. Definitely more males, of course, with the hunting industry, but we definitely have some awesome females in there using the app. Yeah.
So where can we find you guys and get started?
You bet. So everything's on MTNTOUGH.com. That's MTNTOUGH. And you'll see our programs on there. So postseason strength, preseason prep, all access. And all access is where you can train with us all year round. And then you'll also see all our free downloads on there. So you can download the 22s, give that workout a go. Our heavy pack workout is awesome. As well as some calorie calculators for your backcountry trips are on there for free. And then Mountain Tough on Instagram and Facebook.
And without telling us what's in the 22s,
Sure.
can you kind of, because I want people to go check it out.
Yeah.
But give us a reason to go do that. Like what would you expect? Like somebody like me or E3, we go do that, download the free. I mean, what are we gonna expect when we gonna see some changes in a couple weeks or?
You bet. So that workout is full body. So it's going to give you an incredible amount of leg and upper body endurance at the same time. And then it also works on your cardio. So it's kind of like if there was one workout you were going to do with very little or no equipment, that would be the one for sure.
Yeah, I might have to try that out first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you should do it. Yeah.
Now, if you go do the assault bike, what are we looking at? 60 seconds. What are you gonna do in 60
For my cows?
Yeah.
Everyone's been asking me that. And I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
You're not sure?
Yeah.
We could probably guess.
Cool.
Well, Dustin, thanks for coming by. It's been great getting to talk to you a little bit, and can't wait to see what all I can do with y'all and y'all can do with us.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to talk to you.
Thank you.